The ultimate despair? The group of people that caused a tragedy 1 year ago? Those same people pulled together the killing game and began broadcasting all around the world? The most desperate, awful group of people ever? That is the mastermind's true identity? Our enemy has finally been revealed? But right now, we should get out of this horrible place. Figuring out the rest of the story can come after. Yeah, you're right. Alright, Kyoko. Kyoko, do you have that one thing? Monokuma's secret tool that you got from the headmaster's room?
Indeed.
Of course I do. It's an absolute vital part of ensnaring the mastermind. I would never part with it. And it can open any door in the school, right?
That's right.
Then we should be able to use it on that door, right? Hey, Kyoko, can we use that key to open this door, right?
It's true.
Let's find out. Kyoko took out her key from Monokuma's design on it and slid it into the keyhole. And then... yes, it opened!
Indeed.
And now we can get out of here. Let's go. Sounds good. We quickly opened the door and made it our escape from the garbage pit. Finally! We were finally free, but there wasn't even time to take a breath of relief because the real fight was just begun. Ultimate pain, ultimate suffering, ultimate despair, ultimate execution, ultimate death. Danganronpa. After leaving the garbage pit, we found ourselves in a tunnel extending straight up like a chimney. There was a metal ladder leading up to the tunnel. We started climbing the ladder, intent on reaching the surface. The ladder was impossibly long. I couldn't even see where it ended. We climbed into the darkness, and past was so dark and cramped I couldn't even see my own feet beneath me. I had no idea we were so far down. Don't lose your footing. If you slip, I won't be able to catch you. Yeah, I'll be careful. But now that you say that, I'm getting kind of nervous. Maybe talking will help keep my mind off of it. So, Kyoko, there's something I wanted to ask you. You said you're the ultimate detective, right? So, how long have you been doing detective work? How long?
So...
Ever since I could remember. As long as from a long line of detectives, detective work is in my blood. There was a time when being a detective was considered a sacred duty. My family had always seen it that way. Then, is your family famous?
wrong.
Quite the opposite, actually. Even among actual detectives, many people haven't heard of us. Huh? But how come? It's like your family tradition, right? So...
Right.
Because we take pride in it. Pride?
Indeed.
A detective is either light nor shadow. We represent neither justice nor evil. That is where we uncover the absolute truth. We stand neutral in all things, and to do that, we have to stand separate from the rest of society, which is why we've made a conscious effort to conceal our existence. A conscious effort?
It's true.
A kind of old-fashioned, and I can't say it's entirely rational, but it's our family creed, and we do what we must do to protect it. Because, like I said, it's our sole source of pride. Pride? So that explains... Before I came here, when I was looking up info about the school online, I never saw anything about her, because she hid herself on purpose to protect the pride of her family.
However...
And yet, I gave up on that pride. Huh? In order to enter Hope's Peak, I had to reveal myself to the school. I did it knowing it was something a true Kirigiri detective would never do. But the reason you gave up on that pride, the reason you would go so far to enter Hope's Peak, it was because that's how much you wanted to reconnect with your dad, right? There's no shame in that.
What?
Reconnect? I have absolutely no desire to reconnect with my father. Uh-huh? But you'd be reuniting after all those years, right? You wouldn't have had so much to talk about?
Wrong.
There's nothing I want to talk to my father about.
However...
There is something I want to say to him, though. What? No matter what it takes, I have to find him and tell him face to face. What is it?
So...
I want to sever all ties with him. Sever? The last time I saw him, I was still very young, so I don't remember myself, but apparently he was extremely intelligent. He was in the line to become the next head of the Kirigiri family. He was talented and he had promise in future, but he had no interest in detective work, so he cut himself from the family. No longer after that, my mother died and he simply ran away. He went to my grandfather and they had a huge argument, and young as I was, he left me behind. I'm sure there was a reason for that. I'm sure your dad wanted to take you with him.
Right.
If that was true, then I need to thank him. Thank him for leaving me, because unlike him, I take pride in the work I do. I take pride in the family name. So, every last part of me is happy he didn't take me with him. If I'd gone with him, I wouldn't have had the chance of becoming a detective. What's with the mad cats? Why are they so angry? I was above Kyoko on the ladder, so I wasn't able to see her expression, so I couldn't tell. I couldn't see how she looked when she said that what she might have been feeling. All I could tell was that compared to her usual self, she was more talkative and more emotional. I don't blame him, you know. He had his own life to live. That is what anyone in my position might say, right? But that's not true. But one thing I can never forgive. Really?
So...
The way everyone else looked at me. I was never sad about being left behind. Like I said, I think it was a good thing. But when the rest of the family looked at me, they saw something different. They saw me as the little girl who was abandoned by her father. And that's how they see me even to this day. His shadow had been following me my entire life. I'm sick of it. I need him out of my life. I need to step out of his shadow. That is why I have to find him and tell him we're no longer family. In order to settle the past. In order to remove him from my life forever. I have no doubt he forgot about me years ago. But your family, to cut ties with him like that.
Wrong.
Our only connection is through blood, nothing more. We are connected by heart and soul, no?
Hey.
Is blood really enough to call someone family? Only connected by blood, not by heart or soul? I was so shocked to hear her say something like that. I didn't know how to respond. So instead, I said nothing. I just kept climbing the ladder in complete silence. And after I didn't know how long, we finally reached the top. Looks like this is it.
Indeed.
On the other side of the door, whose peak is waiting for us. We're back.
That's right.
Remember that hatch on the ground near the trash room? I'm fairly certain that's where we're come out from. I unlocked it earlier, so it should be open without much trouble. Well, here goes nothing. I reached my right hand and pushed it against the hatch. The hatch opened with ease, and so... Looks like we're back. But I can't believe how long that ladder was. I'm exhausted. I can't believe to say we're safe and sound, but at least we're out of here, then. Now that we're back at Hope Peak Academy. Kyoko, thank you. I never would have gotten out of here without you. No thanks needed. I was returning the favor. What do I do now? So, what do you do now? I'm glad I didn't die, of course, but once the mastermind finds out, I'm worried about you, too. You helped me, so they might...
Listen.
You're worried? Yeah, of course.
So then...
Then, let's get to concrete answer. Huh?
In other words...
Let's ask Monokuma if there's a problem with you escaping. Wait, what?
However...
If we try to hide, it's only a matter of time till we're found out. And it's not like we could run away. As she said, she has a point at the nearby surveillance camera, So you're saying rather than stressing out over getting caught, we should just give up now? Don't worry. What you think is gonna happen isn't. Because the mastermind isn't the one that's ensnared. The mastermind is ensnared? You said something like that before. What does that mean?
So...
The mastermind stood opposed during the investigation into Mukuro's death. There was a moment when the mastermind let their guard down. There was?
Right.
If we talk to Monokuma, we can confirm it. And if it'll be better for us if we go to him directly before he tracks us down. That should help with our negotiations. I'm still super uneasy about this. But we don't really have a choice, do we?
Indeed.
Monokuma should be at the gym.
Shall we go?
Let's get going. Okay. Leave the area, yes. Is no one gonna see me just walking out of here? Is there not gonna be anyone just like outside in the open? No, we're just gonna walk straight up to the gym like nothing happened. Where is everyone? There should be someone outside at least. They're just casual, just walking to the club like, what up?
Well now.
Hey! Kyoko, I don't mind so much. But Makoto's supposed to be dead! What is he doing here?
That's exactly how I thought he'd react. Are we really gonna be okay?
You were supposed to be punished. Did Kyoko help you?
What?
So what if I did? What will you do?
If the guilty party is exposed during the class trial, they alone would be executed. It's unfortunate, but it is the rule. So now I gotta punish you again, and this time I won't leave anything to chance.
Kyoko!
Right.
Do whatever you feel you have to. What?
However...
But before you do, let me say one thing.
No.
If you execute Makoto, that means you lose. Not that that matters to you, right?
Huh? I lose? Hey! You! Explain yourself! What do you mean by that?
Because...
Well, you did set up the latest class trial yourself, right? I was getting in your way, so you wanted to an excuse to kill me.
In other words...
I was supposed to be the chosen as the Blackens and then executed, right?
Hey! What are you talking about?
However...
But when Makoto chose to overlook that my lie, your plan came crashing down. The results of the trial weren't all what you were expecting, because you never imagined that in the position one person would protect another like that.
Right.
And in response to that unexpected development,
Indeed.
you reacted by proclaiming Makoto the Blackened and trying to execute him. You made the choice out of desperation. No, more than that. You must have realized that Makoto, who refused to be manipulated, was a threat to you as well.
However...
But then, there was another unexpected development waiting for you. An entity that would have thrown a wrench, so to speak, in your precious execution machinery. Alter ego? You never imagined the possibility of being that could come to our aid even after you'd kill it.
Am I wrong?
Now, here's the absolute truth. Makoto didn't kill Mukuro. You did.
Listen to me.
So exiting Makoto for it would have surely be a violation of the rules, which I know you love so much. If the Blacken is exposed, they alone will be executed. That's what you told us, right?
And that means I lose? You talk a big game. You're saying the Blacken is me and not Makoto. Well? And can you prove this, right?
Well...
No, I can't. Don't just say it like that.
What is this, a comedy routine? To make such a bold claims without a shred of evidence!
That doesn't matter.
I don't have any right now, but with a little more time, I guarantee I'll find some.
That's right.
Because no matter how deeply you try to bury it, there's only one absolute truth.
And now you're trying to talk like some famous detective type.
Because
If Makoto really was the killer, he would have never had come to you willingly like this. He would have feared for his life, feared another execution. He would have tried to run and hide. He would have gripped you by despair. You love so to inspire.
however,
But here we are, confronting you and nothing but hope in our hearts.
And that's supposed to be enough to convince me in the absence of evidence.
indeed.
It's not you I'm trying to convince.
Hey,
If you were going to execute Makoto now, everyone out there watching this would be extremely displeased. Huh?
indeed.
Imagine what everyone out there would think if you killed Makoto. They would assume that you killed him because what Sui said is exactly right.
Listen to me.
Despair can never kill hope.
Hey,
Of course, you can say we're just making this all up. You're welcome to prove us wrong. No, you have no choice but to prove it. Because if you kill Makoto without proving your own innocence, you'll be accepting your own defeat. If you want to earn our despair, fair and
that's
square,
what we have to do.
then I suggest you take my advice.
So, what is this advice of yours?
It's true.
To do Makoto's trial over again. Only this time, you follow the school regulations to ensure a fair trial.
It's time for one
It's-
last showdown. One final battle between hope and despair.
Okay, she said it for me.
Hey,
Well, that would make for a proper climax, wouldn't you say? A fair trial? One last showdown? In other words, this would be our last chance to expose our true identities for Mukuro's killer of the mastermind themselves. But what reason would the mastermind have to accept the challenge? They'd probably just execute me without another word. Bro, that.
Interesting. Barrett! Very interesting indeed.
Barry?
What's wrong? Oh, am I getting bored? Or I decided to change things up a little. So, time for a bear joke. Now, what you suggested might be possible. It would certainly make for one honey of a climax.
in other words,
Does that mean you accept?
You guys! If we do things your way, it'll be enough to convince you and the viewers, right? And it would also cause you unbearable despair, right? Then I prepared to agree to your terms. Will you hope to win now? Or will despair claim victory?
I can barely contain myself.
Let's have one final grisly showdown!
He agreed? Then we still have a shot at this.
But this is a long-awaited climax, right? Just guessing the killer is barely a fitting end. So, for this final showdown, you'll have to unearth all the mysteries that have been buried here.
All the mysteries?
That's right, every last mystery that's pawing around the school. If you can do that,
I can barely contain myself.
then that'll be enough to qualify as a victory for you.
it's true.
And that's what we've been trying to do all along.
Okay, well, good. Then let's bear it all. If you can claw your way through the truth of Mukuro's death and solve the mystery of this school,
Guys,
then you win. But if you can't do all that,
We'll all face execution, right?
I can barely contain my excitement. Well, you learned the whole truth. What kind of despair would you show me?
We're as excited as you are, I'm sure.
Listen to me.
When you've uncovered every last truth, how will your ultimate despair reveal their ultimate despair? I honestly can't believe how this all turned out.
Hey,
But before we get started, I want to clarify one more thing. Do you remember the rule? The one student kills another. That's when a class trial is held?
What's wrong?
I remember that. For sure. So what?
Hey,
I just want to confirm that is what you said, right? That is the true statement.
You don't have to be so suspicious. I've said it before, but it bears repeating. Everything is based on school regulations, and having a trial for Mikuro is no exception to that.
Huh? Mukuro's trial is no exception? Then it's part of the regulation? Which means to whoever killed Mukuro.
That's a very polarizing approach. I know, but okay, enough puns. Anyway, here's a hint. I'm sure I told you this already, but this killing game became with 16 participants, all of them high school students. And only people that could take part in the step in Hope's Peak since killing game began are those 16 students.
What?
listen.
Are you telling the truth? What? Why did it go so quiet all of a sudden?
Now I'm really angry.
I'm done talking. I've got nothing left to say to you. Get lost, would ya?
Why so mad? He seems emotionally unstable.
Hey, leave me alone. Get out of here.
Okay, I'm going. You're really gonna let me go?
I don't care anymore. You're all gonna get your punishment later anyways. I need to start getting it ready. A super duper extra special punishment overflowing with despair.
Hey,
Come on, Makoto, let's go. Okay. Monokuma unstable laughter seemed to hinge us all as we walked away. And just like that, we're out of the gym. What? I could hardly believe it, but somehow I ended up not getting executed. I still had my life, but we still had a chance. Overall, things turned out way better than expected. Once again, I was in Kyoko's debt. Alright, let's talk to Kyoko. Kyoko, thank you. Everything I have right now is because of you.
however,
Don't thank me just yet. The real battle is just ahead of us. Yeah, true. But still, I'm glad it worked out. I wasn't sure if the enemy would accept my proposal. But honestly, why did the headmaster agree to that? I mean, they don't stand to gain anything from the final showdown, do they?
so,
They had no choice but to accept, huh?
because,
It's all because that one moment that they mastermind lit their guard. Like that I said. So, when was it that the mastermind let their guard down?
so,
I wasn't there to hear it myself, but you do remember what the mastermind said. They said that they had hijacked the airways to broadcast our school life in the outside world, right? Yeah, that's definitely what he said, right?
listen.
And what did you think when you heard that? Pretty hard to believe, right? Well, I mean, the idea is actually pretty over the airways seems so unbelievable.
Indeed.
You don't exactly read about something like that happening very often, so it's hard to imagine. In other words, this kind of thing is extremely hard to pull off.
However,
And yet, somehow the mastermind was able to do it.
in other words,
But think of it another way. There must have been some reason they had to do something that difficult. A reason?
so,
They had to show the world something, no matter the cost of killing each other. They wanted to show the world?
it would seem,
The mastermind have been very adamant about not killing us directly, but forcing us to kill each other. And all the rules and regulations are designed to encourage that. Yeah, that makes sense if those stupid relegations didn't exist. Nobody would have killed anybody.
in other words,
So, the mastermind's ultimate goal was to make us kill each other and show it off to the world. But why?
correct.
To prove a point, most likely. Prove a point?
Hey,
The outside world has a name for the students of Hope's Peak Academy, right? A certain concept? You're talking about hope, right?
That's right.
And for those who represent hope to kill each other and sink into despair, the mastermind wants the world to see that, to try and prove that despair is better than hope. That is their goal, the ultimate despair. What? They wanted to prove that despair is better than hope? But that's just ridiculous.
It's true.
You're right, it is ridiculous, completely irrational. It's the kind of thing that nobody but those who call themselves the ultimate despair would despise. Devise. The group of only purpose is to motivate comes from despair. But is that really the only reason for making the rest of us suffer?
Makoto.
I know how angry it must make you, and yet the same motivation is what led to the mastermind revealing their weakness. What?
In other words,
Because their goal is to broadcast the killing game to the world. The mastermind has had more particular than the reasonable about their own regulations. If the mastermind simply ignored the rules, this would have been a game, but a one-sided slaughter.
at the very least,
At the very least, that's how those who are watching this would have seen it. And that's why the mastermind couldn't kill any of us themselves?
indeed.
That is precisely the reason. No matter how much they hate what I'm doing, I haven't violated a single one of their regulations. Junko broke the rules, so she was punished. But is that the case? They wouldn't lay a finger on me.
Right.
So, instead, they tried to use the class trial following all the proper rules to get me killed. And they began a trial that didn't have the right answer, then made me out to be the killer. But even that didn't work.
It's true.
Yes, thanks to you. And due to that failure, the mastermind took yet another risk. He attempted to kill you instead, and also was not the killer. And when that fact was exposed on live TV to the entire outside world, the mastermind had to accept your suggestion. To prove to the world that despair is better than hope, they would have defeated us in a perfect
In
form.
other words,
It would only be the mastermind's harm to have shown we have violated your own regulations. But all of that was a hunch, right? And all we're still able to get the mastermind to accept your challenge?
however,
Well, it's only thanks to you that we got this chance, because you believed in me. Another path opened up. Still, I can't believe how much the mastermind's plans you were able to figure out. I didn't have the slightest clue. In the end, though, I couldn't prove any of it. It was just my reasoning. Essentially, I was making a bet.
whew,
But I would guess it was alright. This time, at least, I won the bet. She let out a quick sigh, took out a small sign of relief. To be honest, I haven't seen that nervous in a long time. I totally couldn't tell you were nervous at all. You seemed totally confident the moment we decided to talk to him. Well, precisely a strong demeanor is a fundamental part of negotiation and persuasion, wouldn't you say? Plus, if it had shown my uneasiness, that would have made you much more uneasy. Yeah, you're probably right. How pathetic.
however,
Anyway, we just can't relax just yet. All we've done is earn another chance to fight. We have to win this time, or everything we've gone through will have been for nothing. You're right. We don't defeat the mastermind at all costs to our lives. There's no option except to win.
hey,
But before we begin the final battle, we have yet to tell the others what's going on. True, but how do they know what the real enemy is? All we have to do now is work together with everyone to destroy the mastermind. Work together with everyone?
however,
Is that really possible? Huh?
anyway,
Anyways, right now, we have to go find the others.
shall we go?
They're possibly in the dorms somewhere. Shall we go? Wait, what? Where is everyone? As soon we were greeted with... You again! Is he broken?
Whew,
I suppose his emotion instability reached its limit. Jeez, what the hell?
however,
I wonder what's going all that about. I couldn't help but let out a sigh of relief. Ah!
Is that Makoto?
You guys!
It is! There's no two ways about it. That's Makoto.
Or it's a ghost.
You survived?
Jeez, you're like a stubborn little cockroach, you know that?
Coming from Byakuya.
I'm just asking to make sure, but you're not a ghost, right?
Yeah, of course you would say that. Everyone was there. All my friends who had struggled together and survived. As soon as I saw their faces, I couldn't help myself. I started to tear up.
What?
Wait, what's that smell?
What the heck?
Yeah, man, that seriously stinks.
It's Makoto! He smells like a wet dog. Get away! Shoo! Shoo!
And in a flash, my tears dried up.
Makoto.
Yes.
Alright, explain what?
Hmm.
But is it okay that you're here? What if the mastermind catches you?
It's true.
That's related to what we have to tell you all. I need to tell you all at the last trial.
Last trial?
In other words...
We're gonna redo Mukuro's trial.
Huh?
What? Seriously?
How about that?
What's the point of redoing it? Makoto killed her, right? No, I didn't do it. Like I keep telling you.
Wrong.
Makoto isn't the killer, and of course it's not me or any of you.
Then who did it?
I see.
What she's saying is that it was all the work of the mastermind.
Huh?
What? What are you saying? The mastermind killed Mukuro?
That's right.
That's right. It was all an elaborate trap conceived by the mastermind. Makoto spotted the trap in time and did what he had to stop it.
However...
But his decision meant that he would be the one to die.
What did you say?
You spotted the trap, did you, Makoto? You make it sound like it was easy. I just,
However...
By executing Makoto, who wasn't the Blackened, is a clear violation of the school rules. The rules state only the Blackened is to be executed. The mastermind broke their own rules, which is why I went to negotiate with them and have the trial one more time. The mastermind agreed? Does that mean they really did break the rules? They had no choice but to agree. You used the TV broadcast to gain the leverage you needed, didn't you?
Correct.
They're observant of you.
Naturally.
I recall what you said at the end of the last trial. When you said now it's the mastermind that's ensnared, that's what you're referring to.
Don't be mean.
Hey, I'm totally in the dark here. For anyone who's not to understand, you can ask Kyoko to explain it again later. So, knowing all this, what do we do now?
About that.
It's about the killer Mokuro, right? So our job is to expose the mastermind?
But there's more to it than that, correct? Yeah. For us to win this time, we have to solve every last mystery surrounding the school.
Every last mystery?
But...
But we've been looking around all this time and we still don't even know anything, right?
Anyway...
You probably guessed already, but if we lose this time, everyone dies. Everyone?
Hey, who said we could agree on those terms without talking to the rest of us? I'm fine with the way things are. I'm fine living forever with Master.
I mean, want to get out of here as soon as humanly possible.
Anyway,
at the point, only way for us to survive is to unravel the truth. In other words, when decides the final battle, a rather interesting development, I'd say.
But figuring out the mastermind is, and how they killed Mukuro, and all the school mysteries.
It's all pretty frigid order. Maybe, but the class trial is different. We know who our enemy is now. So if we all work together and search hard as we can, we'll all solve those mysteries. I'm not so sure about that. Huh? I can't agree with the idea of working together with everyone. Huh? Can't agree? Why not? I mean, working together with everyone seems like the most obvious way to solve the mysteries.
Indeed.
That's what I thought too at first, until Monokuma gave us a little hint of his.
Hint?
It's a very polarizing approach, I know, but enough funds anyways. Here's a hint. I'm sure I told you this already, but the killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. And the only person to take a single step in high school since killing game began are those 16 students.
I see.
Monokuma said that, did he? Then Kyoko's opinion is perfectly reasonable.
Huh? But why?
So, in other words,
If the mastermind really is one who killed Mukuro, as Kyoko says, then the mastermind would have to set foot in the school, right? Monokuma would probably murder Mukuro, but there's no way he would have disguised a scene like that.
in other words,
But according to Monokuma, the only people who have set foot in Hope's are the 16 students who have been taking part in the killing game.
Then the mastermind is... There were 15 of us in the main hall in the very beginning. Add in Mukura and you get 16. So the mastermind would be one of us.
that's right.
And those 16 people we started out with, the ones still alive, are the people standing right here. Need I continue to do? You get it now? You're saying the mastermind is one of us?
No way!
You can't be serious.
Wait, we can't say that for sure just yet. Monokuma might have just said that to confuse us.
It's certainly possible, but only one among many. The mastermind being one of us is also a possibility.
And that is one possibility we can't ignore.
Yeah, I mean, they're the ultimate, right? The ultimate despair, so they must be a high schooler. You can't say it's not possible.
But if one of us was the mastermind, they would have been controlling Monokuma somehow, right? But did you ever see anyone act suspicious anytime Monokuma was active?
Well,
Maybe they snuck off and controlled him in secret.
but...
I don't care how sneaky you are. We would have noticed someone sneaking off that many times.
And maybe Monokuma was an autopilot. Maybe they loaded up with dialogue and acted beforehand.
If that's the case, there's no way he would have had all those back and forth conversations with us.
Well, then would it be entirely impossible if they had directed the flow of the conversation? Well, maybe, but still.
This is a school announcement.
I'ma have a, boneless burger?
You've all probably figured this out by now, but at this point, the killing game has now entered true ending mode.
Lol.
So, in the name of fairness, I will unlock every room in the school.
Nice.
Look wherever you want. Solve the mystery in whatever way you see fit.
Ooh.
Then we can all meet up at the class trial, okay?
How very magnanimous of him to unlock all the rooms.
That's fine.
The time to talk is done. Now we need to begin our investigation. But I was planning on working alone from the beginning anyways.
In the name of my family.
At this point, I can only rely on myself on the Togami bloodline flowing through my veins. I have no time to worry about the rest of you. Each of you must uphold your responsibility. Well then. After making the final statement, Byakuya left the dining hall.
Master, he didn't take me with him.
Hey.
Do you blame him?
Without Master, the rest of you like coffee with cream without the cream or coffee. You're totally useless. So bye.
With that, Toko trudged out of the dining hall. And now she's gone.
And
You're gonna be off by yourself, right, Kyoko?
Indeed.
that's right.
Which leaves Makoto, Hina, and me. In that case, I'm gonna go by myself too.
Wait, how come?
How about that?
Just wait and see. I'm gonna use my totally awesome spirit powers to figure out who the mastermind's identity.
Laughing loudly, Hiro left the dining hall. Everyone's going off by themselves. What about you, Hina? I guess I'll do the same.
But,
I mean, it's not like I don't trust anyone, you know? But up until now, I haven't really been all that useful. I just depend on Sakura and everyone else.
You're not useless. If you hadn't been there, I would have died.
Makoto? That's really nice of you to say. But still, I don't know. I've mostly been totally useless. So I figured at least at the end, maybe I could figure something out to help us all get out of here. So I'm gonna go off and do it all on my own. Okay, see ya.
Hina was surprisingly high spirit for it, and she dashed out of the dining hall. Once again, it was just us two.
Indeed.
Okay? And that is where I will leave it. I will save and I will end this. And I will see you guys next time on the next stream of Danganronpa. See you later.